I still remember the rain that night. It wasn't just water falling from the sky, it was ice-cold needles stabbing through my thin jacket, soaking the single trash bag that held everything I owned. I was 22. Lila, just a girl who used to believe family meant forever. The betrayal cut deeper than any knife. 6 months earlier, my father died after a long battle with cancer. He had promised me everything: the family home, the savings account, and the little cafe he built from nothing. He even showed me the will he signed, naming me sole heir. But while I was holding his hand in the hospital during his final hours, my stepmother and her 2 grown children were already plotting. They forged a new will. They transferred money out of accounts. They sold assets before the funeral flowers had even wilted. When I returned from the cemetery, the locks on our family home had been changed. My stepmother stood there with a smug smile, her son holding my suitcase. "You're not blood," she said coldly. "Your father's real family is us now. Get out and don't come back." Her daughter laughed as she threw my clothes onto the wet grass. The last text I received as I walked away in the rain read, "Don't ever come back. You're nothing to us now." I tried fighting it. I went to lawyers, but without money, I was powerless. Shelters turned me away when full, so I ended up on the streets. I begged on busy corners with a cardboard sign that read, "Homeless. Anything helps." Some days people dropped coins. Most days they pretended I didn't exist. One freezing afternoon, a group of teenagers kicked my cup away and laughed as coins scattered into the gutter. Another night, a man tried to drag me into an alley. I barely escaped. I slept under bridges, in abandoned bus stops. Always cold, always hungry, always asking the same painful question into the darkness. How could my own family rob me of everything? That desperate night, with my phone battery at 2%, a random ad appeared. City Revitalization Program. Abandoned homes for $1. Must claim immediately. $1. One roof. One final chance at survival. By morning I had begged enough for bus fare and fees. 2 hours later I stood before the old Victorian in Willow Creek. The house looked haunted, paint peeling, windows cracked, porch sagging under heavy vines. The realtor barely spoke as she handed me the key. I pushed the door open. The loud creak echoed through the empty rooms like a warning. Dust danced in thin beams of light. I dragged my trash bag inside, closed the heavy door, and collapsed on the cold wooden floor. For the first time in months, I wasn't exposed to the street. I cried until my body shook. The first weeks were brutal survival. No electricity, no heat, no running water at first. I cleaned by flashlight, hauled buckets from the backyard pump, and patched leaking roofs with plastic and tape. At night, the house came alive. Floorboards creaked upstairs when no one was there. Doors rattled. Sometimes I heard soft whispering sounds from the walls. I told myself it was just the wind. But deep down, I felt like the house was trying to tell me something. I kept restoring it anyway. While scraping old wallpaper, I discovered beautiful faded rose patterns. In the attic, I found boxes of old photographs, including several of my father as a child with an elderly woman who looked kind and strong. My real grandmother. The one my stepmother claimed had died long ago. The more I cleaned, the more secrets the house revealed. I spent hours sitting on the dusty stairs, tracing their faces with trembling fingers, wondering why they had been erased from my life. Every nail I hammered, every floorboard I sanded, felt like I was slowly piecing my own broken self back together. Yet the strange noises grew louder on stormy nights. Footsteps in the hallway. A faint lullaby carried on the wind, making my skin crawl even as hope flickered inside me like the single candle I kept burning. One stormy night, while fixing a loose floorboard in the master bedroom, it lifted too easily. Beneath it was a small metal safe. My heart raced as I remembered the tiny key I'd found hidden in an old picture frame weeks earlier. It fit. Inside were the original will, bank records proving the theft, and a USB drive. The video on it showed my father and grandmother together. They had planned everything. The house was deliberately set up with unpaid taxes, so only someone truly desperate would claim it for $1. My grandmother had bought back the cafe secretly. The proof I needed for justice was right here. The real twist came in the final part of the recording. My grandmother looked straight into the camera and said, Lila, if you're watching this, know that we never abandoned you. Take back what is yours. Make them pay. With the evidence, I contacted a good lawyer. The forged will was invalidated in court. I watched from the hallway as police arrested my stepmother and her son at their new luxury apartment. My stepmother's face when she saw me standing there was priceless shock, fear, and finally defeat. I didn't yell. I simply said, "You took everything from me. Now I'm taking it all back." The satisfaction washed over me like warm sunlight after endless rain, every tear I had shed on the streets suddenly worth it. The cafe was returned to my name. I used the recovered money to fully restore the beautiful Victorian house. Today it stands proud again, warm and full of light. The cafe is thriving. I wear a small locket from my grandmother every day as a reminder. Girls who are broken and thrown away still come to the cafe. I serve them coffee and share my story. I tell them the rain always stops. I tell them sometimes the darkest house holds the brightest light and the sweetest justice. I still walk the porch at night, listening to the gentle creak of floorboards that now feel like a loving embrace. And every time I whisper, "They tried to destroy me, but the house saved me and helped me get everything back." The girl who once had nothing now has her home, her business, her dignity, and the deep satisfaction of knowing that those who robbed her paid the price. If you're out there right now betrayed, robbed, and hopeless, keep going just one more day. Your $1 house is waiting. Your proof is closer than you think. And when you find it, you'll not only survive, you'll rise and take back your life with interest. With the evidence, I contacted a good lawyer. The forged will was invalidated in court. I watched from the hallway as police arrested my stepmother and her son at their new luxury apartment. My stepmother's face when she saw me standing there was priceless shock, fear, and finally defeat. I didn't yell. I simply said, "You took everything from me. Now I'm taking it all back." The satisfaction washed over me like warm sunlight after endless rain. If you're out there right now betrayed, robbed, and hopeless, keep going just one more day. Your $1 house is waiting. Your proof is closer than you think. And when you find it, you'll not only survive, you'll rise and take back your life with interest. If you're out there right now betrayed, robbed, and hopeless, keep going just one more day. Your $1 house is waiting. Your proof is closer than you think. And when you find it, you'll not only survive, you'll rise and take back your life with interest. Girls who are broken and thrown away still come to the cafe. I serve them coffee and share my story. I tell them the rain always stops. I tell them sometimes the darkest house holds the brightest light and the sweetest justice.